February 11th, 1974. I was a senior at Maine South High School in Park Ridge. I was in the work program. I received 2 credits to go to school, to go to work, and leave school early. The Hyatt Regency was new. They called our school to try out a new program. They hired 16 of us and called us the Turndown Girls. We wore maid uniforms, we would fluff pillows, play some mint on them, and freshen the towels. The daily routine took a turn to the more interesting one Monday when a vital message came through the Turndown network that Black Sabbath had just checked in. I love them. They were one of my favorite bands. I asked my manager if I could just go see what they look like. With a nod of approval, she gave me the approval. I ran to the lobby to see what they looked like. When I got off the elevator, Ozzy Osbourne was standing right in front of me. He was gorgeous, young, long chestnut brown hair, and the coolest winter coat with fur trimming. He was 25. "Are you Ozzy Osbourne?" I asked. "Yes, I am." "Hi, my name is Laura. I just bought your album today, Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath." "That's nice," he replied. Without anything else to say, I ended with, "Oh, I'm sorry." Smiling, he said, "Do you like it?" "Like it? I love it. I'm going to hold it like this." "That's nice," he replied. And without anything else to say, I ended our conversation with, "It was nice to meet you. Enjoy your stay." I ran up to the 8th floor to tell my friend what just happened. A few minutes later, the elevator door opens and there's Ozzy. He walks to his room and motions for me to come to him. I nervously walked toward him. Ozzy famously speaks with a thick English accent and what sounds like a mouthful of marbles. I had not met anyone from another country yet, so we're having a communication breakdown. What was he saying? I strained to understand him. "Excuse me?" He repeats something. "I beg your pardon?" He tries again. "I'm so sorry, but I don't know what you're saying." I was soaked with sweat and embarrassment. Ozzy was losing his patience. "Would you get my bloody radio from this room and move it to that room?" I finally understood what he was saying. I went and got the master key and accommodated his request. First I got the radio, then I set it up in the new, more desirable room. "Is there anything else I could do for you?" I asked. "No, but thank you, Laura." I was on my way out, thought twice, and turned around and said, "Well, since I did you a favor, can you do me a favor?" Looking a little puzzled, he said, "Sure, what can I do for you?" "Well, I would really like to see your show tonight, and it's sold out." That was a lie. The show is not sold out. I just made that up to make it sound more urgent. "Really? The show is sold out tonight?" "Yes, and could you please get a couple of tickets for me and my girlfriend?" "I'll do better than that," he said, and he called his loyal and accommodating road manager, the adorable Pat Siciliano, half Italian, half English, and 100% gorgeous. He came to the room with 4 tickets and 4 backstage passes. Too excited to work anymore, my manager let me go home. I gathered my forces at the time, and for many years to come were my best friend Michelle, my sister Linda, and her best friend Judy. Michelle was the logic to my whimsy, the responsible one. She was always getting grounded. I never got grounded. This was my first backstage experience. We arrived early for the show and were escorted directly to the stage. We were seated next to the monitor board and on the amps. I was freaking out as the band brushed past us on the way to the stage and mortified when my sister Linda grabbed Geezer Butler, the bass player, on his ass. The thrill of experiencing the show from this vantage point was awesome. So close, we could feel the heat of the lights, the sweat of the band, and the smell of pot from the crowd. Mid-set, they played Sweet Leaf, and as Ozzy sang, "I love you, Sweet Leaf, though you can't hear me," he looked over and gave me the peace sign. The fringe on his shirt was swinging. My 17-year-old virgin heart skipped a beat. I leaned over to my sister and said, "I would love to ball him." Ball him? You'd be lucky if he'd even kiss you. I was crushed by her comment. After the show, we left. It never occurred to us that maybe we should stick around. The next day was moving day. My family was moving to a nearby suburb. I had been given a list of responsibilities. Meet the movers, drive some boxes over to the new house, and pick up Grandma. But first, I had to call Ozzy. I had to thank him. It was the polite thing to do, after all. I dialed directly to his room. I told him the show was great and thanked him for the tickets and backstage passes. "Where did you go? I was looking for you after the show. There was a party and I wanted you to come." That surprised me. Then he said, "Why don't you come and thank me in person?" "Okay. I'll be right back," I said to my mom as I raced out the door. It was a typical February day in Chicago, meaning there was a fresh layer of ice on the road. In my frenzy, I smashed the front of my red Gran Torino into an ice bank on Michelle's driveway. That's right. If I was going to thank Ozzy in person, I was going to bring my best friend, Michelle. Ozzy looked surprised when he opened the door and saw two of us. "Come on in," he said. We ordered drinks from room service. 2 screwdrivers for Michelle, and 2 for me. Ozzy was talking. Musical influences. He loved the Beatles. He said Mick Jagger was the most sexual man alive, and he had sex with both women and men. He said he didn't like his wife, Thelma, and Hitler. Ozzy was obsessed with Hitler. Why was this famous, adorable rock star sharing his personal stories an afternoon with me? Ozzy made a call to Pat and asked Michelle to go to his room and get some Black Sabbath memorabilia. After Michelle left, Ozzy sat down and sat me on his lap. "Can I kiss you?" I couldn't wait to tell my sister. We kissed. Then he asked, "Can I make love to you?" Make love? Oh, this sounded beautiful. I was sure this was going to be magical and very different from anything the high school boys had to offer. "I would love to," I said. I excused myself to the bathroom. I looked in the mirror, took off all my clothes, folded them in a neat pile. I was pretty sure, based on movies and television, that this is what a lady was expected to do. I came out of the elevator. I came out of the bathroom, and to my surprise, Ozzy still had his clothes on. And to his surprise, I did not. I read the shock on his face and said, "Oh, you're not supposed to do this." He grabbed my hand, smiled, and led me over to one of the 2 beds. What happened next was probably not that different from the typical high school experience. We kissed, then Ozzy got straight to it without much foreplay. I had to put one hand on the wall and one on the floor to keep from getting bounced off the bed. I wasn't exactly sure what was happening. Afterwards, Ozzy wanted to talk. We talked for over an hour. He guessed that I was a virgin. He had never been with a virgin before. He held and caressed me. I sipped the rest of the screwdrivers. He offered advice about life and sex. We got dressed and said goodbye. I met up with Michelle and we left. By the time I got home, it was 7:30 and it was dark. The movers were gone and I was grounded.